Hey guys, good morning. I just woke up. So, new Spy Family chapter, right? Before I jump into it, I actually want to pull up something on the side. So, let me just pull up my Twitter. Okay. I actually made some predictions on my Twitter recently about Spy Family. And let me actually just pull up those notifications first. Let's see. Let's talk about it first. I did this here. Okay. So these are some of my predictions, and I actually want to pull this up to see if it's actually true. And I want to give you guys my evidence first before we jump into the chapter to see if they were true or not. So, my prediction was it's a refresher episode, so when Anya's on his way to school or something like that, she remembers the final boss is a telepath just like her, so she has to be careful. Or maybe she's motivated to meet Damien's dad even more. Number 2, the setting will be at Eden, of course, because it's an Eden new semester. The students will be assigned based to their intelligence or academic competency. So they have a class system, which is actually A to G, so there's 8 of them, not A to F. I predicted that Anya will be placed somewhere in 1C or 1F, like somewhere in that range. 1C if she's lucky. 1F is because her rank was 168, and I predicted that she would probably be classmates with one of the ones here, which was Ewan, Emil, Bill, George, or Arnold. Maybe one or more of them will be in the same class as Anya, and that Class 1A will most likely have Damien and Becky. Becky had 38, so she's actually in B, I believe. Henderson will be Anya's homeroom teacher. I'm hoping that they're in the same homeroom because Henderson I've just gotten so attached to, and I would be sad if he was just kind of like written off because he is for Class C, or also known as Cecil class. So he is the overseer of that class, basically. So I had a conversation with Raph that if Bill is in top 30, he'll be in Class A, but I'm not really sure because I don't know his ranking. So I'm just applying my experience working in a elementary classroom. As far as I know, the max capacity is usually around 30 to 35 students per class. Reflecting on my own experience as a student and also as a teacher who has been in an elementary classroom, I've never seen a classroom that's like 40 or above, because that's way too overwhelming for one person, one adult to handle. So based on that tangent, I made this little chat here, or this chart with my friend Raph. And this was how I divided it, because I knew the class number was 228, so I divided it by 30, assuming that 30 is the maximum capacity size. So top 30 would be in Class A. The next 30 would be in B, C, up until H. And then excuse me. So Raph actually verified. Sorry, I'm just still having a coughing fit. Raph verified there's actually 8 classes. So when I did the math and I got to Class G, I was kind of getting hesitant. I'm like, we're getting further from Class F, which is usually the typical classroom letter in like elementary, or sorry, middle school and high school, as far as I know. And Raph says there are 8 classes, and basically we talk more about this. And based on here, we actually have the division of the 8 classes. Raph actually found the book in a fan book. and he was able to determine the 8 classes. So Spectre for A, B classes Klein Hall, Cecil Hall, Wald, Malcolm, Hamilton, Villiers, and Rose. So something to point out, the classes here in Spy Family is because they don't want to use A through G as a letter, because A through G would be something that's synonymous with public schools, right? And Eden is placed in Europe, but the school system is similar to that of a combination of Japanese and also Western. So instead of using A through G, which is like the Japanese public school system, they named each class. So if you're in Spectre Hall, you're technically A class. And if you're in Rose Hall, you're technically in the G class. So just remember that. So that's where I made my little prediction here. So 228, right? So I believe Damien made top 30, so he's in the Spectre Hall. I mentioned 38 for Becky, so she's in Klein Hall. And then Anya is in Hamilton Hall, which is 168. But my friend Lottie just raised an important issue, which is that she has 3 Stellas and 3 Tonitrus bolts. Someone reblogged my tweet earlier and said that Anya was in Villiers Hall, actually E, so not F, but E, Malcolm Hall, which would make it the English teacher that I remember from the interview. So it's that other guy would be her teacher. But I would feel sad because I'm like thinking about Henderson, because Henderson won't get a lot of spotlight as much anymore. He'll just basically fade into the background. So I would feel really sad. I actually got really attached to him. So these were my predictions on basically their class statement, which was, there's a debate that I wanted Anya in C class, which is Cecil Hall, because Henry Henderson. Come on, Henry Henderson, come on. I love him so much. So I really want him to be like continuously be her overseer. And I believe Lottie and I were discussing about, we're hoping that in this chapter, there would be maybe a small flashback or a debate when it came to Henry probably having a debate with the teachers of where to place Miss Anya Forger. So I'm very, very excited to see where that will go. So now that we know my predictions, we are going to go ahead and check on this chapter. So we have chapter 112, part 1. Okay, so part 1. This is big. This is very, very big. So this is quite big. So I don't know how many pages now. It makes me wonder. 18 pages. So it's about 9 pages. We have a part 2 coming up, so maybe that's a continuation of that. So we have Lloyd saying, "Hey Anya, wake up. School starts today. You don't want to get a tonitrus bolt for being tardy on the first day of the term, do you?" Ring. Actually, what's very interesting here is if she does, what a legend. You know, let's never forget that Anya is like the first to get 3 Stellas in her first year alone as a first grader. And she's also the first one to get 3 tonitrus bolts at the same time. So even in chapter 92, I believe, was the last time we discussed about Anya's scores. And we talked about how Henry Henderson has never seen anyone on the finals list get both a Stella and a tonitrus at the same time. So it's really funny that she got her 3rd one. Here we have Lloyd saying, "Do not get a tonitrus bolts for your first term." The term of Spy Family, it's very, very interesting because I actually had a debate with Raph again in the chat. We were talking about when did the school start. So according to Fui as well, Fui also pitched in, we got an understanding that in spring we had May or April. Actually, not April. So we start in April. In April. This is when Anya took the test, right? So April, May, June, July, August, September, October, December, and then I'm gonna go back here for January. Oops. And then let's go ahead and erase this. Okay. So, according to my friends and I having a discussion, we said that the cruise arc usually happens somewhere here. Cruise arc, or, well, this is also the second term. So the first term for Anya, first term plus first grade, right? So she was added to orientation around here at this time, September, October, December. So this is where the cruise arc happened. Sorry, I'm gonna squeeze it there. Cruise. The cruise arc happened here, and then we are right here for the ball, basically. December ball. That's what I'm gonna call it. And the new term starts in January. So basically the holidays that work in Japanese schools is functioning here in Eden, where they have literally like a week off. So in Japanese schools, they have weeks off, just like 1 week off. They don't function the same as the US, since I'm from the US, where we typically have the holidays starting somewhere around June, so mid-June-ish. So we would have 3 months off, right, for the year, before the next term, or next semester, or next year. But in Japan, they literally just take like 1 week off, and then they're back in school again. So I don't know how they function in actual school public settings, because I have not taught in a public school in Japan, but based on Spy Family, the world that they live in, it's 1 week off. So that's one thing I want to show here. They have 1 week off. And I believe the start of their school year is, I think they're trying to function it here. So just like the US or Western countries, actually it should be this one, August. August is practically the start of the new year for them, which is very interesting to see here. But anyways, I'm yapping based on the schedule. I'm very interested in understanding the education system in Spy Family. If you guys don't know, I am a teacher in real life. So very interested in how they function in school. So here we have Anya complaining, don't want to go, too much work, relatable. We have Lloyd saying, get out of vacation mode now. Yeah, I'll freeze to death. Relatable again. Going to school is fun. Becky and Damien are waiting to see you. So actually, very interesting, because remember, Lloyd has development here. So first, he usually says stuff like, oh, get out of bed. He's very blunt. He's not close to Anya. But he's starting to this is like development for Lloyd. So good job, Lloyd. Going to school is fun. Becky and Damien are waiting to see you. So now he's starting to use language that Anya understands. Let's not forget that. So this is definitely a development. As a result of chapter 108 and 107, I believe, where Lloyd is actually having more of an attachment for Anya. So now, and also learning from the authors, things that are associating to fun will convince Anya. So it's very good that Lloyd has definitely shown more development of his relationship with Anya, and of course, as a dad too. Because right here, this is a perfect dichotomy, this little line right here. And I love it, because this is the typical. So this is average. I'm gonna put that there. Average and typical Lloyd behavior, which is still kind of like, I don't know, like he's kind of like, like get out of vacation mode now. He sounds like a dad for sure, but also, you know, like as a spy dad, I feel like when he acts like a spy dad, or like he's more with Twilight, you know, he's more like distant, maybe even disconnected is the right word to say. He's disconnected from understanding the feeling, because that's how he is as a spy. Remember, he threw his name away, his humanity away along with it. So that also counted his connection with Anya back then. So now he's not as like desperate, because I think about the episode where Lloyd tried to wake up Anya when she had to go to school, and he was like very desperate to wake her up. But here it's like he has genuinely shown some growth here. You know, like remember, Becky and Damien are waiting to see you. He uses names, okay? He knows her classmates' names. So the fact that he's able to like use them as a motivation to get out of bed. I mean, if my dad had to tell me like, oh yeah, your friends at school are waiting for you, or if my dad told me, oh yeah, your friends are outside our house waiting for you, I would jump out of bed. So very, very good tactics. So he has definitely improved as a dad. We're on the next page here. That's right, I need to find Scion Boy and see if it's true about his evil super boss dad. World peace depends on it. So yeah, we have this realization. So basically, I predicted that Anya was gonna think about it on her way to school, but no, she says it when she's half asleep getting ready for school. So I was wrong in my prediction, and that's perfectly fine. It's always fun to theorize. Okay, oops. Let's go ahead and do this and scroll down. And let me see, yeah, that's writing to see, find out Scion Boy and see if he's super bad. World peace depends on it. Yeah, so again, the whole thing about world peace. This really stands out to me because Anya, Moss and I were talking about this. World peace is Anya's trigger, right? They used the word world peace when she had her flashback in the lab. So her world peace is one of the ways to convince Anya and motivate her to do something. So again, we have our lovely translator, we have PC Low, and our lettering Rina Mappa. So, meh, too much hassle. I don't care about world peace. So again, this is a development as well. Development for Anya's part. She's starting to know that she cares about sleep. I don't care. So now it shows like it's development for Anya, because usually she's motivated, she would get out of bed, but nowadays she's like, nah, she's too comfortable with her family. So Anya is behaving more like a proper child would with her family. So again, development. She's starting to be, well, not starting to, because since earlier chapters, I can't remember what chapter it was, but when Yor requested that she ask Anya to clean up or something, she said no to her own mom, you know? And normally Anya's afraid of her mother. So like now Anya has just basically embraced the role of being a daughter in this family. Sorry, that was bothering me. So again, it's just Anya being more humanized, and I like to see that because again, because we know the background of Spy Family, it doesn't feel like it hits hard. It only hits hard because we know that we have traumatic characters, right? They all come from war, they all come from a different background. Anya has been adopted and also returned to an orphanage 4 times actually. So 3 times, I believe, maybe 4th time adopted, I can't remember. But basically, we know that Anya wanted to please her dad, but now here she's starting to act like a daughter, like a real relevant, relatable daughter that many of us could definitely relate to Anya not wanting to wake up for school. So Anya's like, I don't care. And then we have here Yawn, stop your nonsensical babbling and get out of bed. So yeah, now Lloyd is going back to his dad mode, which is stop your nonsensical babbling. That's just so funny. And then at least Bon woke up. Oh, I haven't seen Bon in a hot minute. It's been a while. And then Lloyd is now dragging Anya. This is so cute. So basically, here, which is, I just remembered my own dad, how he had to convince me and my sister out of bed. Lloyd is kind of like, I don't care anymore, I'm done. Like, he's pulling her by her clothes, like yanking her out of bed. I just think about how my dad convinced me and my sister out of bed. He would gently pull our arms, or no, he would pull the blanket down, then he would pull both of our hands, and then I would sit up in my bed, and then once I'm sitting up, my dad would put his hand on my back and make sure to help me like sit on the edge of my bed, and then as I get up, he would tap my butt just to like wake me up and then just go off to the bathroom. That's how I woke up. So just seeing this is just kind of memorable in terms of how my dad woke me up. And my dad did it in a much more gentle way, of course. And he did the same thing to my sister. You know, he would be just like, wake up, and then we would get out of bed, go use the bathroom, and then sometimes it would be so funny because we would dive back into bed, and then my dad would be like, so we could get our dad to do the same thing again too, because my sister and I really love our dad. It's just very, very memorable. Like, I miss that childhood because my dad no longer does that for me because I'm much older. But yeah, it's just kind of nostalgic thinking about that. So sorry I went off tangent. It's just really funny to see how Lloyd is not the same. Not tender at all. Not really being a dad. He's just like dragging her out of bed. Eek, wait, I think I'll think up a new reason why I can't go. better to come up with one before you say that. That's so funny. So again, now Lloyd is starting to have a no man. He's having a no man kind of talk. It's reminding me of, you know, in the beginning, Lloyd used to say answers where he retorts Anya to say like, oh, I want a silenced pistol. He said something like, oh, we'll see if it's on sale. Now, in something like this, he's very like, no, like I'm not gonna tolerate any of this. So now here, Anya's like, no, better come up with another, she wants to think of a new reason why she can't go to school. Again, very relevant. Us kids who don't want to go to school, just want to stay home. For Lloyd, he said, better to come up with one before you say that. So he's kind of teaching her at the same time, and he's also still entertaining Anya, even though he has a no, like, answer to her, like, no, you don't get to say that, you're gonna go to school. But at the same time, he's kind of training her in a way by saying like, if you want a reason, tell me before you say that out loud. Like, don't say stuff like that. Better for you to say it before you say that. And then Anya, now being dragged, says, I think I broke my neck bone. I need to rest today. It hurts a little. That's a crick from sleeping on it. So yeah, it's just the bone crack. It's nothing. It's just basically air caught up in the muscle, and when you crack your bone, it feels good. Which I just did. Here. In that case, I caught a cold when you pulled off my blankie. Again, these are very, very cute interactions. So she says, bone neck, broke my neck. And then she says, a cold when you pulled off my blankie. In that case. And I love that Lloyd is saying, like, in that case, quoting her. And it's so funny because he's like saying, what do you mean? Why are you making this tangent? Like, are you thinking about more things? And then we have little Bond sniffing Yor's drink that she has prepared. So he's again, like, I think this is such a small detail, but it's very, very cute. Remember, Bond likes to check if anything's poisoned or he has a vision for it. So just a really cute interaction, and it's with Yor too. I think that's very, very funny. So again, Lloyd is just dragging Anya away, and Yor is like, here, Anya's caught a cold. Is she going to be okay? Yor, don't take her excuses seriously. And this is very funny because Yor is just very authentic. She would believe anything, especially like if Anya's saying that she got a cold. And it's so funny here too because we have little Anya's face as well as like, mom. And then Lloyd is saying, telling Yor, because he knows Yor is such a good person, he's telling her not to take her excuses seriously. And I'm pretty sure Yor would have checked. Or, as far as I know, as punishment goes, I think she would have put Anya exactly through what she did for Yuri. So like, went in the wild, found something really disgusting for food, and then made her drink it and make her even sicker because of that. So yeah, I think Anya would learn from that lesson. I think that would have been good. If Anya learned from that lesson that Yor regarding like why it's important to stay healthy because Yor's food is not that good. And then we have Lloyd here like chastising her, and you know better than to tell lies. So again, now he's acting like a dad again, better than to tell lies. And then Anya's like, you of all people are telling me that. And it's so funny because we all know he's a spy. That is so funny. So yeah, it's kind of like, remember, we had a previous chapter where we talked about lies, telling lies after the cruise arc, and we had Lloyd, Yor, and Yuri on the couch chastising her and not to tell lies, you know? And then we have Lloyd just saying that, I don't know, I think this is so cute. I have not seen Lloyd have this like little like angle of his like eyebrow, I believe, looking down, being angry. It just looks so cute. I've never seen him look like this before. It's so adorable. I just cannot with this. So yeah, this is such an adorable little drawing. I've never seen Lloyd drawn like that. And then Yor, of course, is being very concerned. Like, but what if she really isn't feeling well? So I don't blame Yor too, because I would also believe the child and be like, okay, are you sure you're not sick? I'm going to be checking in on you. And of course, in that case, if I'm investigating, checking if you're really lying, what really is the case. And what's also interesting is, I think the way your phrases it is like, but what if she really isn't feeling well? So we're not seeing it as any longer as a physical symptoms. We're also seeing it as a mental, right? Because Lloyd is a mental health doctor. He's a psychiatrist. So maybe there might be a reason why she really doesn't want to go to school. So that's actually a very good point. And again, what Yor is saying is influencing Lloyd. Because technically, he sees Yor as the expert when it comes to being a mom or, you know, being the matriarch in the family and all. He really trusts her. So now here, we see that influence that Yor has pointed out. Now, the result is right here. Lloyd is actually going to check to see if she's telling the truth, even though he knows that she's lying and she doesn't want to get out of bed. But now, Anya, you set yourself up for this. You dug your own grave, and you're going to lay in it. So Yor is going to go run and say, I'll check your temperature just to be sure, Anya. And she's fretting because she's worried. My thermometer. Oh, sorry, I said mometer. Thermometer. So she's like fretting, running away. And now Anya is very embarrassed because Yor is now starting to be worried, and this is basically what she set herself up for. So she's very embarrassed, and she's reading Lloyd's mind. I guess it's possible she has a legitimate reason for not wanting to go, in which case forcing her could cause emotional damage. There you go. See, like I mentioned, emotional trauma. Sorry, not emotional damage. So Yor did mention something, and it allowed Lloyd to actually have a second thought. You know, he's starting to see things like multidimensional in terms of like how he sees children. Like he forgets, like we saw in the beginning, he forgot to act human except for that one point where he was like, oh yeah, Damien and Becky are waiting for you in school. But here, now he has an awareness. Like whenever Yor is present, it kind of helps him second guess himself for a moment to see like from a different angle, because Yor is very just always worried. She's a mom. Whereas for Lloyd, he's all like, oh, I thought she's just lying, but maybe, yeah, we should just check first. Let's see what is her legitimate reason for not going. Maybe there is an emotional trauma response there. And then, now that he's thinking about that, Anya's embarrassed because now she has genuinely made both of her parents worried. So now she changes her mind and says, I'm fine, I'll go to school. So she feels really bad for complaining and whining. And now her parents are like, huh? Oh, this is such a cute art. I love it. I really love it when Endo does this. It's so cute. The little mini forgers. It's so cute. And now the parents are like, huh? Like, are you sure you're okay? Are you sure? And it's just funny because Anya, to them, she's behaving very mercurial. Like, she's just changing her emotions and her answers left and right, and it's driving them crazy. I would be too. I'll be like, why the heck did you change your mind suddenly? But they forget Anya's a mind reader, so she actually feels guilty. You can see here by her blush that she's feeling really, really bad for lying to them or complaining about not going to school. So she really doesn't have a legitimate reason for it. So now she's like, okay, fine, I'll go to school. So now we are going to go to the next page. Now we get to see they have lockers. I actually don't remember if they were given lockers, so I've never seen this panel before. Good morning, Anya. Morning, Becky. The first day back is always so depressing. And then the way I kind of think of, again, on Becky, she's giving me kind of Cali girl vibes, Valley girl, Cali girl vibes. This little expression here alone. And then we have here, then my sister said, no way. And she's like, oh, sigh. In any case, I did not know Emil had a sister. So, yay for new information, right? I did not know he had a sibling, an older sister. Then we have here, hey Scion boy, my dad was a total monster again this morning. What's your dad like? Is he super scary? Gathering info. And we have Anya here immediately going to work just like her dad. So, infotel. That's so cute. And then Damien's like, huh? What are you blabbering about? Because they are friends since the dance. Who the hell are you to ask me anything? So again, Damien trying to put a wall between them. I haven't even seen father since that dinner. That's actually quite sad. Crackle. Guess I really will have to become an imperial scholar and confront a super boss directly. And then again, we have Anya's mindset. And then again, her spelling, imperial scholar, and confront super boss directly. Super boss again, not saying the big boss, not the big boss, but the villain, or basically the target. I have no further use of you. I can't. I have no further use of you. Sorry, she said for. I have no further use for you. Okay, very interesting word choice. But if she said of you, that's even like, that's why I laughed so hard. If she said the word of, I have no further use of you, it basically means his whole existence doesn't mean crap for her. But I have no, she has, again, Anya has incorrect grammar here. I have no further use for you. So in that sense, I have no further use for you. The way that it's framed is that Anya, okay, this is why we pay attention for English. If you use of and for, that's actually very common in English where people mix up the two because they're very similar in application. So if she said, I have no further use of you, that would mean that Damien has no more purpose for Anya, okay? So if you use of, it basically means Damien is no longer needed. Damien equals not needed, right? Oops. Ah! I didn't mean for that to happen. So yeah, it equals, let me just rewrite this because my handwriting is horrible.
It's time.
My alarm has been going off because before I went to sleep at 2 a.m. last night, I was like, I checked the Viz website and it said it was going to be posted at 8 a.m. But I guess it's like posted at 7:30, I guess, for me. So it was already posted at 7:50. So I'm assuming Viz was open for me at 7 o'clock because I'm not using the app. Sorry, not 7 o'clock. Because I tried going on Viz at 7 o'clock before and for some reason it didn't go through. So I think 7:30 is when it's open for me to read. I think the 30-minute window is because you are a subscriber, I think, or premium user. I don't know. But I've seen my friends posting exactly at 7 o'clock on the dot. For me, it doesn't open till 7:30, which is interesting. So yeah, Damien, going back to this, I have no further use of you would mean, of would make it that Damien is not needed, but I have no further use for you. For is directly saying that Anya is no longer seeing a purpose for herself towards Damien. So yeah, again, it's not the correct form, and it's very interesting to see how Anya mixes up the language again. So again, just a very common error here. Here, Becky's like, what is going on with her? And Damien's upset. He's saying, you're the one who started the conversation. So it's like, she had said something and then she turned her back on him. So we have, oh yeah, we were just talking about this. We had a prediction, I think, on Twitter and with friends. They were saying we wanted more of Anya interacting with her. We kind of saw her as introvert girl. That was like our little nickname, introvert girl. Because I don't even know her name. So we have Anya's 2 new classmates. Good morning, Becky. Good morning, Anya. And we are going back to this page. Good morning, classmates. That's so cute. I'm Meg, don't you remember? And I'm Connie. We finally have names, finally. So Meg and Connie. So Anya's newest friends, most likely. Might be in the same class as her. Becky's here saying, just when we were starting to get to know our classmates, now they're placing us all in new classes by ability. And she says, I know. Oh, yeah, so again, Anya forgot. That's right, I'm gonna be all alone now. You did bomb every subject but classical language, so that's a good point. What a relief it'll be to learn unimpeded by idiots. So true. Plan B is in crisis. Gasp. Becky says, but at least we're still in the same class for all the subjects. That didn't have tests, so it's not that big of a deal. So okay. We were actually discussing this again in my Spy Family group, and we were talking about how they are still still in the same class for all the subjects that didn't have tests. So the ones that don't have the test, I am gonna tell you that it's probably gonna be like extracurricular classes. So maybe cooking, art, music. So basically the classes that don't have a test on, right? So they're still gonna be the same class for all the subjects that they didn't have tests. So it would be like cooking, art, and music, I believe, because I don't recall that these were the tests that they had to take during finals. So as long as it's not related to the core being, again, core classes would include math, their literature class, lit class, second lit class, which is like classical languages and stuff, or classical, sorry, I'm writing over them, classical language. We have science, and we have history, I believe, right? So we have math, literature, second literature / classical languages, science, history. So based on this, these are the core classes that they will not be in the same class with each other. But with stuff like cooking, art, and music, I think they would be at least in the same class together. So it's not that big of a deal. So that's what Becky was saying, is that they will still have fun together. I believe that's the highlight. It's not that big of a deal. So at least they will still be together doing fun classes. They posted the new class assignment, so let's go see. I remember this. This is kind of giving me back to high school. Again, kind of high school vibe. Because they had different locations in my high school to find where like the designated class are. I think in high school, what they did was they tell you what is your first period class, especially for like freshmen and also for sophomores and seniors and stuff. Because we didn't typically get our first class given to us during orientation because they're still working on it. What they would do is that in different parts of the school, we were told where is the freshman location at, where's the sophomore, the senior, and the junior. You go to your first class and then you get your full schedule for the first week, and then that first week alone you're gonna be deciding if you want this class or that class. But anyways, that's rambling. But this is just very nostalgic for me, kind of reliving through this stuff, and I think that's one of the fun things about Spy Family is that it is quite nostalgic for the mature readers or the older readers, so we get to see. So interesting. We go to the first class here. And so from today on, you'll be having language studies here in class F. Interesting. We got the Rose class, right? So language studies in class F. Very interesting. So my prediction about Anya being in class F was right. Hey, I feel so happy about this. But it seems that in language studies here in class F, for Anya was right. Damien definitely didn't do well. So here he's in the same class as her. Very interesting, class F. Okay, so one of my predictions came true. That's kind of I'm happy about that. But now I'm actually intrigued. Like, does everyone split off into different classes, right? So I think first grade is being treated like high school, junior high school. So you're going to your grade level based on that on like the subject, I believe is the way that they're framing it. So it's very interesting here. So this is not classical language, I believe. Is it? From today you'll be having language studies here. Okay. So this is not classical languages. This is different language classes. So they're putting an average of who is based on what in different classrooms. So again, like I mentioned, we have class 2 here. This is definitely Klein, right? Klein Hall, or whatever level it is. They have that 1 through 8. So here we see that Damien didn't do well, of course, on the language test. So Anya's here too. So they're next to each other. This is great development. Hey, this is gonna be fun because Anya, it seems like she's gonna have an awareness of pattern. And that's something that stands out to me about her in terms of language. We already know she was hinted by saying oui in French when she said yes in the beginning. I was kind of confused about that too when I remember watching the anime because I was like, she says oui? French? So she has some background in language. So I think Anya may actually be have linguistic recognition. So this is very subconscious, you guys. People don't know this stuff until you take like a test for it to confirm what kind of intelligence you're good at. So in Anya's case, I think she has linguistic recognition. So again, it's like pattern in languages. She's able to capture it if it was taught to her, just like how often did it. So I think Anya would do a really good job in language courses. That's my prediction, and I feel like Damien and Anya will definitely like have a stronger bond with each other. And I think it's really interesting that they put them next to each other. So, woo, I'm so happy about that. Next, I always like to see in the background. Can we see anyone else? Nope, they're just blurring their face. They're not important. How? Why? Keep it down over there. And then we see here, Plan B is safe. The boss man really needs to work on his language skills. So, I don't remember if it was addressed in the past. We see Emil and Ewan are in Class D when it comes to language. So they do much better, whereas Anya's here with Damien. And then, oh, so they do this. Okay, very, very interesting. So this was something else I also thought about too, because based on the core exams, now I have a better understanding of it. Because they're rotating different classes, like different periods, right? They're going to their respective strengths. So they are bumping up to, they have the same system, A through G, or 1 to 8 again. Class F is basically, let's see, we're counting on my fingers, that's 6, right? A, B, C, D, E, F, yeah, that's 6. So 6 out of 8. So they're going based on language, or we're going by core strength, right? So for Anya and Damien to be next to each other in languages, it'll be Class F. I can see them like leveling up together, so I'm very excited for this. That's really interesting how Eden's school system works. So it's giving kind of like, we do something similar in the US, basically. You have an honors program, right? If you are someone who gets like A's and B's above C average, you would be allowed to put on your schedule that you're interested in taking an honors program class. So it would be like, oh, I go to honors period here for English, but I go to regular class in history, for example, right? So it doesn't mean that it's a class average, because that's how I kind of perceived it in my first thesis. Or actually not thesis, my theory. My theory was it was a class grade point average, but now we see here it's actually divided for each class, which is interesting. So yeah, language class is going to be very interesting between Damien and Anya, and this makes me very excited because again, language skills, this is my field of expertise. I love it. It's basically an ELA course, right? But maybe OLA for Ostania and LA. So O for Ostania, we have a new teacher I don't know, language, and then acquisition, ACQ, just to keep it short. So Ostania, language acquisition. It's similar to English, where we have an ELA class, that's what it's called. English language arts, or even arts might be another one. Not just acquisition, but maybe we say Ostanian language arts, ELA. That's a very common topic we have. So I feel like this is kind of like that. Here we have the next period. Looks like I'm in class of C for science. Yeah, looks like I'm in class C for science B. So again, they have terminologies for science. Class B being like maybe in the next level of science, but Becky is class C. So I don't know if she has Henderson for this. But again, it's a different teacher though. Every class seems to have a different teacher. That makes sense because if we think about the interview, there were hundreds of teachers. We don't even know a lot of their faces. So I think it just doesn't, that's just very interesting. I'm very like, oh, interesting. So Anya again is class F. Again, my assumption, since she bombed most of the classes, she's class F for here. Class F. I'm very excited to see in classical language where she's placed now. So long for real this time. And Damien is just like sweat dropping because he's like happy that they're not in the same class. But honestly, I think he would be sad if they weren't. So now, class 2, year 201-2. We have Klein, which was my prediction, but I don't know. We'll see. We have new faces here. We don't know a lot of them. And Anya's here. I don't know any of these people. And then, oh, we have Connie. Looks like you and I are the only girls from class 3. Who are you? I told you my name is Connie. Come on. And then we have a little kid just like coming in. Womp. Ow. Give it back. Wahaha. Mutter, mutter, mutter. So again, we're starting to see new characters. So again, I know Endo likes us to have a glance of new faces. The ones who matter, they will have a face like this one. See how it's cut off and his face has details? This one doesn't have a face yet, so he's not very important. This one's important. Of course, we have the 3 here who are shown again. These are important. And then this one too. They're gonna be important. So they're all yapping. I love that they have yap there. Oh, that's so funny. I think as we grow into reading mangas, I really, really, really love when they're using like modern day words. Conversations is not like back in the day. I'm pretty sure if we read like very old mangas, they're gonna say chatter probably in the background. Now it's yap because of modern day. I love it. Yap, yap. I don't know. I want to actually see like an older manga to see what does chatter look like, or just say noisy in the background. But yap is more it's more like modern day lingo. I love it. I don't know why. Language is just very interesting. And again, now we get to see Connie, which is one of the predictions I believe I read on Twitter, which is very, very good. Again, introvert girl. It's giving like a Lo-Fi girl whenever I think of that. Introvert girl. So I know a lot of people were saying on Twitter, they're like, I really hope Anya becomes close to this girl because I feel like she's important. And we do get to see her become closer to her. And of course, her introduction earlier just goes to show she will be important. And my phone just keeps telling me I have so many things going on today. But anyways, we are gonna go to the next page. Oh my god, yes. This is just like a spoiler for me, damn it. Anyways. Mutter. So we have Connie. I curse you all for eternity. 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 And then Mutter. She's just like really, really dark. Oh my god, she's kind of creepy. Burn in hell, burn in hell. And she's just like very interesting mind. She's just like just chanting in her head. Okay. Connie is kind of scary. She's giving me creepy vibes, but seems like kind of nice too. I don't know. So Anya's just shocked, just hearing her mind. You're disturbed. And I love that Anya just calls her out for it. You're disturbed. Huh? By what? And then again, disturb. Anya's using ambiguous languages. Ambiguous languages are very fun because they have double meaning. Disturbed as in she was being disturbed by what? So again, word choice is very good because it's hiding Anya's intentions. You're disturbed means you have a very disturbing mind, and the way that she's using AD in terms of adjective is saying that she's feeling something disturbing, which is her thoughts, right? So the ambiguity is always the best thing. But of course, disturbed can also mean like to be bothered by something. So the ambiguousness, so it means bother. And then one is bother, which is what Connie's understanding is bother. Like, oh, you must be very bothered by something. Versus what Anya means disturbed means messed up. Messed up mind. Messed up. And I'm hiding it. I'm sorry. I'm covering it over his face. Messed up mentally is what I'm trying to write here. Messed up mentally is what she's trying to say, number 2. She's messed up mentally. And you can't really see it. Can I even do this? Yeah. She's messed up. I wonder if you can see it. Yeah, right here. You can't even see, but it's whatever. Messed up mentally. And then we have this. What's this? And then, as we all predicted, Arnold Crawley is here. Why, if it isn't Miss Anya Forger, the second place achiever in classical languages, we're in the same class at last. Oh my god, he's very poshy. He's got the poshy conversation kind of style. Why, if it isn't Miss Anya Forger? It's kind of arrogant. I don't know. It's giving me that guy from Boku no Hero Academia, the guy who's like always annoying, the blonde hair guy. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, but he's always very annoying. He's giving that arrogant vibe. Not just arrogant vibe, but he's giving me that vibe in general, because I don't think Crowley feels kind of arrogant in a sense. Not yet, at least I don't really know, but he's giving that vibe to me. And then he says, at last we're in the same class. Very dramatic language. So again, I like to always understand the idiolect of every character. Idiolect just basically means the way that people speak. It says a lot about, you can actually recognize someone without knowing who the character is if you recognize their writing pattern and speaking pattern. So he's got a very poshy kind of speaking pattern to me, or like idiolect. That's the word I should say. And then Anya, very quick to forget people. Who are you? Same here. If I hadn't reread, I would have actually forgotten who he was. Arnold, the top scorer. Remember how I asked you? Remember how I asked you to dance at the party, and she said no. Fair. I'm the same as Anya. So we know he's a top scorer of classical language, and he's paying attention to Anya because she's second place. A little bird told me you went to get your fortune read at the Wool Festival. My father was doing readings there. I'm sure you noticed this. The lines? Oh yeah, his dad was the one reading the lines for the bigger one, I remember. Totally went over my head just like Anya. I'm like, I wasn't paying attention. Are you some manner of fool to have forgotten so much? So again, word choice, very manner of fool. Again, he's trying to reflect. He's flexing his language. Language flex. Lang flex. That's why I'm saying he sounds very poshy. It takes one to know one, and besides, we're in the same class, so your brain's at the same level mine is. I love that Anya is just very quick to clap back. It takes one to know one. Oh my god, Anya, you're so savage. Yeah, so it takes one to know one, and besides, we're in the same class, so your brain's at the same level as mine. So again, Anya is, something I love about Anya is her ability to just clap back. Clap, or it's like, come back. My phone is telling me that I have a podcast today. It's not today. Well, actually this, yes. So her clap back or calm back is actually on point. I love how Anya is just very quick to retort, kind of like her dad. So yeah, I love it. And then the shock factor. She speaks truth. Very dramatic. And then Arnold says, very well said. So again, very well said, Miss Forger. Has your third eye open to the deeper truths of the cosmos, or perhaps you have some means of accessing the Akashic records. It's very interesting. Again, this is very like a jargon related to, I believe, tarot reading or cosmetology. So I don't know anything about this part, but I would love to know more. I think my chat probably has popped up on this conversation already. I wouldn't doubt that my friend Anya already read it or like brought some important points to it, because I'm actually gonna pull it up later and see if she found anything. So here, I didn't understand anything you said, and I love that Anya is saying, she's just being very honest about it. So again, the language that I'm getting already from Arnold Crowley is that he's like language flexing as usual, and the word choice manner of fool, she speaks truth. He doesn't say she speaks the truth, she speaks truth. There's something about it that really stands out to me. I don't know. Something about language there is really bothering me. And the word choice again, very well said, Miss Forger. Has your third eye open, blah, blah, blah. So again, it's just entering that kind of conversation that I'm not aware of or I don't know about. Incidentally, the only reason I did so poorly on the biology test was my belief that all terrestrial creatures were designed by entities from a higher plane of existence. So again, Crowley is using very high-level language here. Incidentally, the reason I didn't pass the biology test was my belief, word choice was my belief that all terrestrial creatures were designed, higher-level language, again, entities from a higher plane of existence. Again, Crowley is flexing because he got first place. Flexing in classical language, right? And that is basically the impression I'm getting from his idiolect, is that he uses high-level brow languages. Some people do talk like this in real life. I have met a couple friends who do talk like this, and it doesn't mean that they are poshy or arrogant people. It's just they like to talk like this. It's just who they are. But that's usually the impression I get, is that when I hear people talk using highbrow languages like this, it's like a mixture of two registers. Again, if you know English or if you studied any languages, A combination of register means you're combining informal with formal languages. Arnold is definitely more on the formal language edge. He's using higher level brow language. Incidentally, was my belief that word choice. He couldn't just say, I did bad on the biology test because I believe that all. So notice I said I believe instead of was my belief. He's really trying to make himself different. He's standing out through speech. So you can just really tell. I did so poorly on the reason I did so poorly on the biology test, or I did bad. Again, word choice, so poorly, so very formal language, highbrow. He's really trying to make himself stand out. Like main character energy is basically what I want to say. He's trying to be main character energy from a very educational, high academic background. And again, because he got first place in classical language, he's flexing using, I would assume, is classical language, but in a very like formal register. And then Anya said, "You watch too many cartoons," and that's actually pretty funny. That's a really good clapback. Again, another good comeback. You watch too many cartoons, because she also doesn't believe in aliens apparently. And then they point out a new person. It's Tertius from Spectre Hall. So remember, Spectre Hall is huge. These are the A-class students, right? So the ones in Spectre Hall are usually seen as people who are, I guess you could say, the creme de la creme, the icing on top of the cake, I guess you could say. So anyone Spectre Hall is an A-class student, they're perceived as superior above all the other peers. So if you are in a Spectre Hall class, then you have that status with you. And again, the way that they're drawn is funny to me. Phone, please leave me alone. That's just so funny. So the crown, right? Crown. Again, synonymous with being Spectre Hall, being an A-class. He's being extra. Wow. They say he's a prince of some country. Can you believe that? So again, the rumors are saying that he's a prince from a country. Rumors about A-class or Spectre Hall students are usually very, very high position people, maybe even higher than Damien's dad. I don't know why Damien was put in class C, but very interesting. In any case, we are going to move on. Now we are going to go back up here. He's a third prince of Septivia, a small country in the north. Okay. So at least Arnold is useful here because he has a lot of knowledge again. It's not so usual for foreign dignitaries to study abroad at Eden. So again, foreign dignitary to study abroad at Eden. That's very common. And then we have something heh. And then Anya's like, I'm doomed. Interesting, who's saying this? I'm completely cooked. Oh my god, yes. Language. I love it. I love it when language is being like, again, anything that's being applied from modern day slang, being applied into Eden is incredible for me. I love it that Casey Lowe is incorporating conversation. I'm pretty sure across different languages, this is going to be different for everyone. And this is going to be very fun for me to ask people and say, what did he actually say in your language? Because Casey Lowe is using slang, right? This is modern day slang, and I'm so happy about it. I'm completely cooked, you know? I remember back in the day, it used to be, oh, I'm so dead. It was one of the slangs that we used in middle school by saying like, oh, I'm so dead. It's all over. Everyone is convinced that his face has a sexy mole under his eye. They have no idea how wrong they are. No idea that that mole, and then that's interesting, that he knows a secret about him. Was actually his booger here. Ew, that's so gross. Oh, that's so gross. Kids are disgusting. But in any case, again, the language here, I'm completely cooked. Basically means, aka in my generation, because I am actually a middle. I'm one of the middle ages. I don't know what middle age is called, but Jesus Christ. I am a Gen Z and I'm also a millennial. I'm a cuspy, that's what I'm called. a cuspy, right? So if you're somewhere in the 1990s, usually 1995 to 1990, or 2000 actually, the 5 years, right? If you are born between 1995, sometimes even 1994, 1994 is the cutoff, is usually what I see. If you're born 1995 to the thousands, you're usually called the cuspy, the Gen Millennial. What is it called? The millennial slash, sorry, not Gen here, millennial slash Gen Z. So I'm in that batch. So I'm aware of Gen Z language, but I also know my millennial language. Basically, I'm effed. I'm star. That is basically the language. Because in millennial, or like at least when I was in school, we use the F word a lot. So I'm completely cooked in here. So again, we already read ahead and saw that this student literally threw a booger at that guy to make it convinced that he's using a mole. So this little mole here is really my booger. Ew, that's so gross. I can see it though, kids are crazy. It's not what you think, it was just a cruel quirk of fate. So he picked his nose and he flicked it and it hit him. I didn't do it on purpose, okay? So it's just a cruel quirk of fate. It's so funny. So knowing this, and now I'm completely done for. They're saying this guy is a prince. If they use cutting-edge technologies to analyze the booger and trace it back to me, I'm as good as dead. So, something to point out, cutting-edge technology. DNA, right? DNA, for example, to analyze the booger and bring it back to me, I think, they said cutting edge, and I put a lot of alarm clocks because I thought I wasn't gonna wake up at 7:50 this morning, because that's when the when the manga drops, is what I assumed this morning. Something to point out, it's 1990, right? 1990 is when DNA was able to be traced. Okay, so right now they are in the 1960s, and let's remember that's a storyline. It's the 1960s, and Endo-san did say that he's kind of loosely basing it in the 1960s, but there is technology that's outside of that. So let's be aware that Spy Family is not perfect in terms of accuracy for technology, because it's a mixture of stuff. So what he's referring to is a cutting-edge technology, meaning that it hasn't been discovered yet, but DNA tracing is what he's trying to indicate. And they would find out that he's good as dead. So he would be in trouble if he found out about this. Who befouled my hollowed countenance? So word choice again. The more dramatic it is, the more, I don't know, it has like poshy. So befouled, word choice, befouled, who harmed. It's giving very, what's the word for it? Shakespeare prose. Who befouled my hollowed countenance. Hollowed, I don't know what hollowed is supposed to be. That is definitely very Shakespearean. It's a very archaic English. We don't really use that word anymore. So hollowed countenance basically means his face, right? His face. Countenance is face. Like my appearance. Yeah, you get the point. But very interesting that they're using kind of a Shakespearean prose here. Shakespearean prose. Very interesting that they're using that. But wait, no one seems to have noticed it yet. Not even the prince. So very interesting. So let's go ahead and erase that. Move on to the next page. We're almost done with this chapter. So we have here, so long as no one is aware, a mission. So Anya might actually be interested in this guy because he's brave, you know? The impression I got too was like, there's this person who's trying to be brave, and Anya is just like so excited, so I think she wants to be friends. I see him as a rival. Here we go. The fact that Anya's like very excited over this, he's giving Lloyd kind of vibe. Even the way he appears looks like very young Lloyd. I don't know, guys. except for the freckles on his face. Aw, I have a soft spot. So yeah, I still have a chance to destroy the evidence. So as long as no one is aware, I still have a chance to destroy the evidence. So Anya is excited because this guy is very brave. And the fact that he is like single-mindedly trying to do something about it, very interesting. And Anya, I could see these two becoming friends. I don't know his name, but I'm excited too. Anya, I feel for her. Gah. Are you super rich, Teru? And they call him Teru, okay. There are too many people around him. I can't get close. But I cannot afford to dither. So word choice again. Hey, your highness. You got some gunk on, and he was trying to reach out to him. Next to his eye right there. Oh my gosh, and he's giving, what do you call it? Assassination Classroom. The guy with the blue hair, the main character. It's like wearing a smiling face before reaching out and doing something dangerous. I don't know. But again, he's just trying to remove something from him. He's just trying to be nice. he totally messed up. And he's yanking some girls out of the way here. Very interesting. So I guess maybe in Teru's culture, no one can touch him. Maybe. That could be a thing, because some cultures are like that. And then he dodges him. Whoosh. I missed. What is the meaning of this insolence? So, word choice. Again. This insolence. Definitely someone either who is really rich. Actually rich, I believe. So someone of royalty background, again, would use this. Why did I put Rio? Sorry. Royalty. We have royalty background here, right? What is the meaning of this insolence? Word choice. Insolence is not a word you would use unless someone in your environment uses that word, or you watch something that influences you to say that word. So the fact that he says that, it's like royalty, okay? So jargon is very important because it says so much about you and where you grew up in. Or also your motivation and whatever your reflections are, just like in Arnold's case. We have this kid saying, you had some gunk on your face. I was trying to help. I assure you, there is no gunk on my beautiful visage. Word choice again. Yeah, no way. I can appreciate your desire to touch royalty, but may I kindly ask you to stop? So, again, it's like different from Arnold Crowley. If you were to really look into the dialogue again, his language is very like easy to digest, but here and there he would throw in an eye candy, is what I call these words. Some highbrow level words. I assure you, word choice again. I assure you, there is no gunk on my beautiful visage. Beautiful visage, kind of giving a little bit of arrogance here. I can appreciate your desire to touch royalty, but may I kindly ask you to stop? And he sounds very, again, he sounds arrogant. So now we are going to move on to the next page. Actually, is there anything else I can catch here? Maybe the other students, right? So all the other girls, he's going to be very unpopular quickly. We kind of do see some of their faces. Again, there might be some importance in them later, but the shenanigans for Eden is to be expected. And I love it. Okay, so now we are on 14. So we are almost done with this chapter. Gah! What is this? Am I being bullied? Some sort of local initiation rite? Help me, Jeeves. I want to go home. Beep. So interesting. Jeeves, who are you? So, am I being bullied? Some sort of local initiation. Ah, that's so interesting. Is this Jeeves' brother or someone related to him? Or someone who takes care of him? Because I'm like, Jeeves takes care of Damien. Local initiation rite. Help me, Jeeves. I don't want to go home. So what is the relationship? I think that's the thing about Spy Family, is they like to give you a small cliffhanger. This is a cliffhanger for sure, because we don't know how he's related to Jeeves. In exchange, I might deign to grant you an autograph, okay? So I might deign to grant you an autograph. Again, he's so out of touch because, again, he's royalty. He doesn't know. Here we have the kid who's saying, there's no talking my way out of this. The gunk. And he actually says it. Eep, stop this at once. I have a delicate constitution. Again, word choice. You dare refer to royalty as gunk? So his outer appearance is that he's trying to put up a facade, but I think that's him in terms of Teru's internal monologue. He's actually terrified. He's really scared because he's no longer in a Spectre class. He's outside of it. It's only a matter of time before he lands a blow and I'm publicly disgraced. This is interesting. Publicly disgraced. So Teru is misunderstanding the situation because he thinks, what's it called? That this person, we don't even know his name yet, is trying to put up a fight. If you desire fisticuffs, haha, I love this. They're using old language again. Fisticuff basically is, fisticuff, for people don't know, it means hand to hand, mano to mano. If you guys know that or recognize that expression, hand to hand, fighting, fist to fist. Yeah, fist to fist is fisticuff. If you desire fisticuffs that badly, I cannot allow that to happen, for I bear the pride and prestige of all Septivia. So again, the pressure of royalty makes you feel like everything you do is going to be a reflection of you and your people, and it looks bad if you're offended or you're hurt or whatever. I cannot allow that to happen, for I bear the pride. So again, Anya definitely has a step in. Also, really cute socks. Adorable socks. Next, we're gonna go here. Then fisticuff you shall have, hooligan. Here we go. So he's here to fight. And he has cat eyes again. Basically, I just can't stop seeing all the references of cat. He's got cat eyes. And then here, a minor power though, my kingdom may be, I'll not have it be mocked by Ostania. I must project strength. So what's interesting here is we're trying to see a relationship. So a little bit of history is being touched here. My kingdom, a minor power, though my kingdom may be. So we know by saying that, what was the school again? Septivia? Septivia may be weak in terms of geographical, or what's another one? Influence, geographical slash societal influence, I think. I may be wrong about this, because this is entering history territory in Spy Family, which I'm not. Again, if we have more historical, I know we have a lot of history buffs here in the Spy Family server, at least from where I'm from. My Discord community has a lot of history buffs there, so it'd actually be interesting if we paid attention more to the history of Spy Family. We could learn so much. But please, Spy Family moods who are into history, I would love to hear your guys' input here. So maybe I'll have it not have it mocked again. I must project my strength because, and all the girls here, new faces, I don't know. No, Teru, don't. Oh no, I'm not sure what's going on, but he's calling me a hooligan. So misunderstanding, and it becomes a fight because of misunderstanding. If I can't get that off him, it could hurt Ostania's reputation. Ooh, interesting. This could turn into an international incident. Interesting. So yeah, it's just a misunderstanding. And the guy just wants to tell him the truth is the gunk. And again, he's got the appearance of like a very young Lloyd Forger kind of, or redacted, I don't know what to call him, but he's giving that vibe. And you know what would actually be cute? What if this kid is named after Lloyd's original name? So when Anya says this kid's name, like Lloyd freaks out, he's like, how does she know my real name? But it's actually a kid who has the same name. That would be actually really cute. I highly doubt it though. Endo, I'm pretty sure, is very careful with names. So, but yeah, I just can't help but see Lloyd Forger in him. I don't know why. It's just very cute. Must be the drawing is very similar. Moving on here. This could lead to war in which my nation's fate is at stake. So again, Anya hearing this is like, and now it's come to war? Because again, in Eden, pride, prestige is at stake, but they're just children. But these children are taking it as actual reputation, which is very interesting because it's giving the dichotomy of adults versus kids, right? when is it okay for an adult to step in, or whatever stakes adults face becomes war versus children who go through it? Because in truth, a lot of the stuff that happens to adults are still kind of childish stuff. I'm gonna be honest. Very, 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 very true, and I love that Spy Family is really pointing this out here. That typically a lot of like dumb stuff, unfortunately, dumb stuff, feeling like they're offending themselves equals offending their country, their kingdom, equals war, you know? Shit like that happens in history. You can see it in history, that really dumb stuff comes from, that makes war is because someone got offended as an adult. But here in this case, they're children, so they're trying to lighten up the load in a sense. But in any case, that line are always blurred. When you become an adult, it's like, how dare you insult my country? We will have a war with yours. We see it all the time. So I'm just basically saying that blur between children and adults when it comes to problems like that, yeah, it happens a lot. Especially if you have people who are immature at the throne. I'm not pointing out anyone in particular, but because I don't even recall anyone specific at the top of my head. But there is evidence in history where war starts for some reason. I mean, think about Cleopatra, right? Mark Antonio, the war there for Cleopatra, they're fighting over for a woman. You know, things like that. That's what I'm trying to say, is that things like that also happen for children, and teenagers liking a person could result with war or fighting. But this is on a scale of people who have like some sort of authority or an influence in their country. So again, that's what I wanted to point out. Spy Family is amazing. I love that they're kind of in a way mocking. They're doing a parody of adults in a sense. And what's very interesting is that we are seeing an example of what logical thinking is happening here. I know for a fact in the next chapter, Anya's probably most likely gonna step in. So yeah, that's my that is my hypothesis. So my hypothesis is Anya will step in the next chapter, or a teacher. Yeah, Anya or a teacher. Sorry, I didn't even finish my word. Anya or a teacher will step in, because again, when you have that adult stepping in, they're like, okay, it's a misunderstanding, don't worry about it. Anya could just walk up to him and just say, hey, you got a booger on your face. Because Anya is the kind of person that just says, she's very outspoken, you know? She said stuff to Arnold Crowley, which is, again, a breath of fresh air. I think what makes Anya likable for everyone in Eden is because she's not afraid to say what's on her mind. So I definitely see Anya as the one gonna be say, hey, you got something on your eye. And she would say that to him, and then he would touch and notice exactly what's happening and why this kid is reacting to him. Another thing I wanted to point out, which was very interesting, and I like to see it here in this case, the visual cue here. Look at the way that this kid is dressed up versus how these people are dressed up. And I've just noticed it here that this one is probably giving a more poverty slash bad boy, right? He's not dressing himself like how he dresses his peers, his classmates. It's very interesting. And again, the details on the clothes versus the kid wearing this, like the fact that Teru is wearing these socks are telling you that he's not the same as everyone else. Even his hair stands out. This kid who doesn't have his shirt buttoned up properly is saying something about him. So again, a lot of characters, a lot of details here that have yet to be like discovered and stuff. I'm actually going to take a pause in this moment and see if there's anything interesting that comes from the conversation in Discord. My friend Anya was the first to post about it. It says here 6:58 a.m. She did post about it first. And then everyone's just talking over here. I don't see anything interesting so far. I should talk to them about it later. Ooh, so we did get an announcement as well for the new volume 15, which is about volume 15 cover, and it's definitely Martha on it. I'm happy about that. We all kind of predicted it because volume 15 is, volume 15 is Martha. Volume 14 is Henderson, so if you can put them side by side with each other, that's actually so cute now that I think about it. But yeah, my discussion board, I think everyone is just saying anything here. I'm gonna jump in the conversation in just a moment. There's already 242 plus new messages. Oh my gosh. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream here. I don't see anything I need to address. Maybe later on Twitter, you'll probably see stuff from me in any case. But thank you guys for watching if you watched to the very end. And I hope you guys enjoyed reading The Spy Family and reacting with me, because I'm gonna check again just to make sure. There's nothing else left on 1617. Yeah, there's nothing here. So cool. That really is the end of today's episode. If you guys have any comments, anything else that stood out to you, or found anything that I mentioned worthwhile, go ahead and leave a comment below. Let me know. And with that being said, I'm just gonna go ahead and end my stream. I'll see you guys next time. Take care wherever you are. Take care wherever you are in the world. Have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Drink water, eat something healthy, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.
お眠りなさい私の顔